Okay, so hi, I'm Kevin Baker. I'm currently a service quality manager in Melbourne CBD. I guess it's fair to say that prior to the program, my personal and professional situation was probably one of frustration. There's a lot of times where you think, why am I getting that result? Or what's happening? What's going on? Why can't I seem to get some cut through in this particular area? And being somebody who's relatively action oriented, then you'd sort of go about putting in all these extra actions without having any concept of what's going on, or how these actions are sort of playing out in your mind. And yeah, before understanding the principles of thinking into results, it was certainly a frustrating time. But also, in saying that, I guess you don't necessarily realise how frustrating life is until you can sort of understand some of these concepts, and you can actually look back and have hindsight to actually understand what was going on. By no accounts was life bad or anything like that, but certainly it's like that frustration. As I mentioned, there was this frustration that things weren't sort of happening as quickly or often as you would expect things to be happening, and so then you sort of go back to the drawing board, so to speak, to try and come at it from a different angle or come up with something else. And that seemed to be what I was spending a lot of my time doing, is sort of asking myself the question, why is that not working? What do I need to do? Put something else in place, bang my head against a wall because that something else was sort of not getting the cut through that you're expecting as well. Yeah, there was an element of unawareness, I guess, as to why things were happening. What I wanted to get out of it was to give myself something new to look at, a new perspective to come from, in terms of, how can I apply different techniques or different things to make those results realised. I was doubting myself. I wasn't worthy of being part of the conversation with senior leaders or other people outside of work and things like that. So that was certainly what I went into the program with, wanting to get something back in terms of building my confidence, being able to have more of those conversations and actually feel like I had some value to add in those conversations as well. And certainly that has certainly come about. Moments for me in the course was actually how much control you have yourself. There's all sorts of programs and sayings and things around how it's all about you and it comes back to you and you need to take the first step. And I truly did not believe I had that much control over them. And there was an element of, it's up to fate, it's destiny sort of a thing. But the big aha moment for me in this program was how I can control that and how much control I do have. What the program does, it gives you those tools and techniques and that awareness, I guess. Sometimes, you would not even be aware that you're doing this, or that you're, you wouldn't be aware that you're making an excuse to leave the room or to not attend a function or something like that. And so now that you have the awareness, you certainly can still have those thoughts, but you are aware of those thoughts more so, and you can go, right, okay, that's not what I want, sort of a thing. And through that, you've obviously then got your tools, I guess, to, right, how do I deal with this? What are my next steps? Be brave, so go forward and do it. Well, the biggest difference is I know who I am now, and what I want to achieve and what I want to do. And I guess once you know that, then you can start putting steps into place to actually get to where you want to go, and set up on that journey to get there. The anxiety that's been removed from, I have to go and deal with this public situation or whatever the case may be. So there's an element of anxiety that's been removed. I could quite easily have seen myself in the past going away on holiday, ordering my room service to sit in my hotel room, wait for the next day when the tour started up. But I certainly got out and about a lot more than what I probably would have in the past through that confidence and awareness of who I am. I've certainly gained a lot of confidence, a lot of worth, I think, in myself and what I have to say. I've been able to take a different look at the job that I'm doing and how I do it and how I go about doing it. It's meant that I've had this whole new awareness of how I can influence things within my role without actually having to do a hell of a lot. A couple of nights thinking about what you want to achieve and putting a few steps in place to move towards that has certainly led me and leading me into bigger and better things professionally. Yes, again, it comes back to that awareness of how the mind works, and so I guess what it does for me is it means I can understand where people are at better when you're having conversations, whether that be training conversations, coaching conversations, workshop conversations. You have an understanding of why people make the comments that they do, why they say the things that they do, which kind of puts you in a better position to be able to respond to that feedback or to those comments. I think it's certainly created a level of interest. It's certainly created more people looking at what I do and how I do it and the results that I'm achieving through that and sort of taking notice of who I am and what I'm doing for the company. So I've worked with some people across many different branches and many different demographics, and there is the odd comment, wow, you've changed, or there's something about you, or what's going on with you. So yeah, you certainly get that element of people noticing, but I think the biggest takeaway for me was people that probably didn't notice me in the first place are now starting to notice me. They're really good tools, really good resources to have. So I still regularly go back and watch Bob and Sandy, some of their lessons. I certainly am still using the workbook. I'll go back and cross out or rub out things that I've done in the past and redo activities just to help keep myself on the right path, on the right track. The videos are fantastic, and there's certainly, through watching the videos, through completing activities repetitively, has meant that you take different things away each time you do that. The thinking into results certainly goes into a lot more detail around how much more control you actually have over things, and certainly goes into more of the how these things work, how your mind works, and then the why these techniques or why these activities will work. You get that feeling of I'm not on my own, and oftentimes what others in the group are saying, you're feeling already, and it's quite nice to hear another voice to the same problem or issue or concern that they've got, which is kind of validating for yourself. And so you're not on your own, and you can actually talk through those with other people. It's a great investment into people. It's not only giving people tools and resources to be able to change their results, but it gives, I guess, people an understanding of what's going on with others when they're thinking things through, or when they're making comments, or when they're questioning why things aren't working. So it's not only about investing in your people and giving them tools and resources, but it's also about understanding how your people work. And having a better understanding of how people work and how their mind works, which leads them to certain results or certain habits and ways they are, means that you can have better conversations with your people. I use different elements of the program every day, right down to still writing my little notes on the mirror, going back and doing activities around productive and non-productive actions and things like that. What I've been able to do is give myself an avenue to go and work things out. In the past you'll think something's not right, this isn't working, or whatever the case may be. You've actually got some tools and resources to be able to go and say, well, okay, I can actually change this. It's within my power to change it. And go and use either a reading from the workbook, or go back and listen to a video, or go and complete an activity. Stop considering it, just do it. There is a fantastic facilitator in Georgia. A huge support is always there to be able to guide you or give you some tips on what's actually going on, because to those that are doing or have done the program, is keep revisiting it. It's not something that you'll do and then put away. Keep referring back to it. There is so many takeaways, different takeaways through, you know, just reading the same thing over and over again, watching the same video over and over again. So make sure that you use the resources that are available to you, including the facilitators and people running the program.